Well,
So I have another person that is a top prospect. This guy has been dealt around three times in 2025. This guy's name is James Tibbs. Have you guys seen this guy?
no,
Mr. Tibbs.
Miss.
James
They
Tibbs,
call me Mister
Mr.
Tibbs.
Tibbs. How do you miss that,
so
Dan? That's like the low hanging fruit.
I'm sorry.
On this episode of Three Tool Players, Konnor Griffin gets the bag just as he steps on the Major League diamond, and we discuss why the Pirates might have broken their stingy streak. Joe Adell has a day for the Angels, which gets us going on the best defense we've seen by position, and for the Mets, Phillies, and Yankees. All this and more on this episode of Three Tool Players. Welcome to Three Tool Players. I'm Chris Spear, and alongside me, as always, are the Hammer brothers, Brian and Dan Hammer. Say hello to the internets, fellas.
Hello to those internets, fellas.
Ahoy, ahoy.
We got a couple of things to talk about in this episode. We'll start with Konnor Griffin. Konnor Griffin signed a 9-year, $140 million contract extension with the Pittsburgh Pirates. This shatters the previous record set just days earlier by the Seattle Mariners and Colt Emerson, who is the 9th overall pick in the 2024 draft. He signed a $95 million contract. Konnor Griffin broke the ceiling now, 9 years, 140. And this is either genius by the Pittsburgh Pirates or it's an enormous risk.
I guess one of the things that I think about is, yes, you want to lock down a potential generational talent. I think that's a bold move, especially for a team like the Pirates, who have been historically stingy when it comes to payroll and salary. To take a huge gamble like this on one gentleman is interesting to me. How did we get here? Like, what did he do? Does he have like incriminating photos of ownership? Is he really this good, or is there just like a major insurance policy taken out on this guy if he does in fact kind of fold?
It's possible that he really is this good, but the timing of it, I think, is strategic for the Pittsburgh Pirates. By finalizing the deal right as he was called up, the Pirates ensure that Konnor Griffin is eligible for something called the Prospect Performance Incentive. If he wins, and the way it works is, if he wins the NL Rookie of the Year, or if he finishes top 3 in MVP voting in the coming years, the Pirates actually receive an extra draft pick, which is it's a big deal if you're the Pirates and you have to build, like you said, if you're stingy with your payroll and you're building from within, that's a big deal. So there's something about the timing of it to give him the big deal before he steps foot on the Major League diamond.
I get it. And in terms of the average, value per year, it doesn't seem, too much to break the bank. So maybe they are getting a generational talent. Like, imagine if you signed Aaron Judge, right? Or Juan Soto, as young as they were, into these types of deals. It's almost a huge bargain. I just think the enormity of it for a franchise like Pittsburgh is what strikes me as odd, because they are so, I'll just say it, they've been cheap for years. Absolutely cheap. So why now? And do they do this because potentially there may be a lockout next year? Are they doing it because rules may change? So maybe we lock this guy in here and now. We ensure what we need to, but at least we'll get this generational talent. And then ho hum, the new bargaining agreement comes into fruition, and they're like, sorry, we're grandfathered in.
I feel like the Pirates got him cheap. You take a look at the comparison with the scouting grades for Konnor Griffin versus some of the marquee players. He stacks up. He is 20 years old. He hasn't hit anything lower than 300 on any level of play in single A, double A, triple A. Triple A this year in 5 games, he was already batting 438. Just his athletic prowess, having 70 stolen bases last year and only being caught once. He has the speed, he has the range, he has the athleticism, he has the hitting, he has the power, he has the contact. This kid has it all, and he's only getting paid $15.5 million for 9 years. How the Pirates are in not paying for marquee players, they're getting a marquee player for cheap. So I feel
Maybe they're
that
the Pirates. They're the Pirates being the Pirates.
they're the Pirates being cheap. And they're like, you know what? We hit lightning in a bottle with this kid. And you know what? Let's just sign him and like throw a big number at him. And he's going to say, yeah. He's going to say, yeah, to 15 and a half, even though he is probably worth double that.
And it's not without precedent. There have been plenty of these kinds of contracts before with young players who have a tremendous amount of potential, who get signed to these deals or these extensions before they hit the diamond. Jackson Chourio is another example of this. Jackson Chourio had an $82 million contract extension before he even took the field for the Brewers. And Jackson Chourio has been worth every bit of it. He finished third in NL Rookie of the Year voting by age 21. He became the youngest player in MLB history to record multiple 2020 seasons. He was powering the Brewers through their playoff runs last year and the year before. So you could say that Jackson Chourio is probably what the Pirates are looking at in terms of paying up front for that long-term success. But for every Jackson Chourio, there's a Scott Kingery.
Well, here's the thing. Scott Kingery wasn't given the bag, though. I mean, like, what was his? It was like 20 million.
It was 24 million in
Yeah,
2018.
but that's not 140 million. I mean, like, yeah, he was getting paid $5 to $6 million a year. Come on, let's not go overboard on the Scott Kingery. All right. So I know you're trying. I know you're trying to get the Phillies in there, but no, you're comparing apples to oranges, and I don't appreciate.
There's a huge risk. Absolutely. I mean, especially with somebody as young as he is, there's a lot of young and dumb things that happen out there. If the Pirates are smart, they're going to market the hell out of this kid. They're going to get their money back in terms of franchise play and selling tickets and merchandise, the whole thing.
The interesting thing here is the timing and the way rookie contracts are structured. The first 3 years of any rookie deal, you play on the league minimum, which is like less than 800,000. I think it's like 780,000 a year. As a rookie, or in the first 3 years, the team decides how much you make, and that's what you get. Then you go into arbitration after your third year. In the third through sixth years, there are performance-based raises that can come along with that. This kind of does away with all of that, and it locks the kid up before he can reach free agency. And I think that's the biggest thing here is that Konnor Griffin doesn't get to free agency as he gets into his sixth year. That's probably where the Pirates save money, because if he lives up to his potential, there's a lot of money for him on the free agency market, and the Pirates are never going to be able to pay that. But the Pirates are building towards something. It may be a good thing for him, for Paul Skeens, and for the youth movement they have going on there in Pittsburgh. Maybe the Pirates are turning over a new leaf while they're kind of still keeping on the cheap side. If Konnor Griffin had himself a great day, Joe Adell had an even better one. Joe Adell for the Anaheim Angels against the Seattle Mariners. Do it. Go ahead, do it for me. How many times did he steal home runs, Brian?
Not once, not twice, but thrice. 3 home runs.
3 home runs.
3, sir.
He robs Cal Raleigh in the first inning. And then in the same exact place on the field, in the 7th inning, he robs one from Josh Naylor. And then just for fun, in the 9th inning, he goes all the way into the right field corner, stretches, falls into the stands on the low wall, and comes out with the ball to rob a 3rd home run from J.P. Crawford. It was unreal. I mean, there were people, there was a really great shot of someone who must have been sitting right behind him as he stands up with his glove outstretched, holding onto the ball. Unbelievable night for Joe Adell and the Anaheim Angels.
What I think is even more compelling is the fact that robbing 3 home runs and getting the shutout against Seattle, he literally saves the game. Period.
3 times.
Three times. They only won 1-0.
Right.
Yeah.
They only won 1-0. He's absolutely having an amazing defensive evening. Now, that comes to think, and I can tell you without hesitation, I can tell you that the crown jewel of an outfielder in terms of defensive hopes and dreams is to rob a home run. It is the biggest flex defensively, in my opinion, as an outfielder. And it got me to thinking, what if we as a podcast took a look around the horn to say, what other best defensive gems could somebody hang their hat on? So as an outfielder, robbing a home run for me is the pinnacle. And it's followed very quickly by gunning somebody out at the plate who's trying to score on me. One throw past the cutoff man, nailing somebody at the plate, and even better, ending a game because of it. So that's for me as an outfielder. The other one, obviously, number three, and this happens a lot, is when somebody goes full extension, like completely lays out and catches a ball and then just slides across the grass. It's one of those beautiful, most poetic, and I call it ballet in the outfield. Is when somebody can lay out and make a hell of a catch like that. The defense behind you or actually in front of you loves it. It boosts your pitcher up. Your pitcher is always amped up. Your folks on the bench, and it electrifies the crowd.
I feel like you forgot one of the key plays that an outfielder does, and that's the double up. You make an insane catch, and then you double someone up on base.
Or the long toss from right field to third base,
Oh yeah.
a la Bo Jackson, a la Ronald Acuna Jr. Someone who's just got
Ichiro.
Ichiro, someone who's just got
with
the
his
cannon,
gun.
and it's like, all right, I'm on second, I'm tagging up, and I'm gonna test the arm of the right fielder, and like Bo knows baseball, right? I mean, Acuna threw one from like the Atlanta suburbs and got the guy at third. It was unreal. That's the only other one I would put in the outfield best play arsenal would be
Okay.
the long throw from right to third base, because you got to have that cannon to
That's
get somebody.
iconic for a right fielder. I mean, like, case in point, we saw two of those plays in the WBC with Aaron Judge. He wasn't far back in the right field corner, but he gunned two guys out in the WBC, and just the mentality of, like, what that does to a team and the momentum.
Rally killer.
Absolutely.
And it's like to test Judge's arm twice
Yeah.
was like, were you not watching? You know what I mean?
Were you not
Hmm.
watching the game before what I
Right.
just did? All
Right.
right,
Hold on. Let me show
Fernando
you again. Let me show
Tatis.
you again. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me show you
you,
again.
Hmm.
you want to test me, Fernando?
It's
All right, here we
muscle
go.
memory.
Yeah.
Muscle memory.
That's the only other thing. I mean, I agree with every one of those. The ballet in the outfield, nailing the guy at home plate to end the game. But I want shout out to the right fielders.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're in little league, they toss you out in right field just because, well,
Oh,
that's where I spent
poor.
all of my time. So I'm defending the right fielders
Oh,
in this segment. Thank you very much.
here. And on behalf of the center fielders everywhere at Little League, and I was that guy that would run past you to help you out to catch the ball
Right.
past you. I'm sorry. I apologize
No,
here and
you're
now
not
that for
sorry.
being.
Shut up. You're not
No,
I'm
sorry.
not.
You're
I'm
not.
not.
Not even
I'm
close.
not.
Not even
I'm all
remotely
about
close.
saving my buddy's ERA. I'm all
Not even
about just
remotely close.
keeping the game close. Like,
yeah.
listen, you just need a little help. I'm here to help you, buddy. That's what I'm
You're
here for.
you're the
Yeah.
quintessential Kelly Leak out there,
I
man.
I listen. I didn't smoke cigarettes and I didn't ride a dirt bike, but I will say that I had the range when I needed it.
As for shortstops, I mean, there are so many dynamic plays you can make from the shortstop position. I mean, running to your right to
Hmm.
pick a ball up in the hole and then to turn around and gun it back to first across your body, or if you want the Jeter jump throw, if you like,
Mm-hmm.
diving up the middle and then gunning the guy out from your knees. Any of those types of plays from the shortstop position.
Yeah, I like that. I like also too, and obviously, Ozzie Smith had shown us plenty of those web gems throughout his career. I used to always like the ones where you jump at your the highest you can in terms of vertical and apex, and literally just snag a double, potential triple that's headed for the
Or the
gap.
gap. Yep.
Right. I like that. I also like when somebody, dives up the middle, like you said, spear, but I add a little mustard to that. Maybe there's a runner coming over from first.
A little
They
flip.
tag second, or they do the
Oh,
flip over.
they tagged the base
They
of the
tag the
glove. Yeah.
base, and then they throw over to first for the double play. Like I would say, yeah, those are the most meaningful to me.
Moving around the horn. Let's go to third base. What do you think,
Yeah.
Dan, are the best plays that you can make from the third base spot?
First one, right off the bat, it's slow dribblers that
Hmm.
are down third base, and third baseman is running to get the ball barehanded and just toss it over to first base to get the guy out by a hair.
I like that you said that. And the one other thing that I would add to that, Dan, is the fact that they also have to do it on the run. They have to throw against their body in full momentum and hope they flip it over to first base with accuracy, with enough velocity to get the guy before the step or two. It's one of the most athletic things you could see a third baseman do.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
something that Bo Bichette, by the way, is still learning how to do.
Oh, give him a break. He plays shortstop.
He's had a couple of those opportunities and he has not executed on them yet. We're going to give Bo a chance to learn a little bit, but it's not automatic. That's a third baseman's play. That's something that you have to learn how to do. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Not
How many
to
people
mention-
are bunting against him? I wonder, testing him.
Not to mention foul territory throwing across your body. I mean, like I have seen Nolan Arenado, I've seen Matt Chapman and
Machado.
Machado.
Like those guys are the pros that do that. They have such arm strength, and throwing a guy out in foul territory, I think, is number 2 for a third baseman. What do you guys think?
The only other thing I'd add is the foul ball that you have to kind of do the basket catch. It's over your head. You don't know where it is. You're looking up, you're trying to find it, and you have to kind of like do like a wide receiver catch over your shoulder.
Oh, in foul territory.
In
like
foul
down the
territory.
line.
Yeah, I love those kinds of things because
Those are
you don't know
great.
whether or not they're going to survive. You don't know if they're going to go head first into the net or into the nets, or if they're going to end up in the dugout. It's like those are
Or
my
if
favorite.
you're-
Like they're just looking up. They have no idea where they are on the field. They're looking up. They look down real quick. They look up. They look down real quick. They don't know where they are. You don't know whether or not they're going to survive.
Or if the shortstop's going to come crashing in, or the left fielder. So it's a scary play.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's a foul ball. It shouldn't be that tense. You know what I mean?
And I'm right there with you, Spear. I mean, think about what ended the 1996 World Series when the Yankees won. It was a foul ball, third base line, and Charlie Hayes brought it down. It was super exciting. So I'm right there with you.
First base is really interesting. It's kind of it's an anchor position. It's involved in nearly every play, but there's not a lot of flash to first base.
I'll tell you what.
Oh,
Since I was a
disagree.
first baseman,
Danny was very flashy. Let's talk about Danny's flash.
I flash a letter like crazy, man. What are you talking about? The play that would always give me issues, a grounder to first base and doubling up a guy at second and then getting back to first base to get the double play. Those are very hard plays to do because one, you're making the play. You have to make sure that you don't hit the runner in stride to second base. So you have to either throw it to the inside or to the outside, depending on where you're at. Most likely it's on the inside because you're holding the base at first. Making the throw, not hitting the runner in stride, and then getting back to first base and doubling it up. Those are extremely difficult plays.
The old 3-6-3 double play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't see that
Absolutely.
often. Yeah, you'll see a
Nope.
3-6-1 more often than you see a 3-6-3 because the pitcher should be covering first base for you because you're playing your position. So a 3-6-3 is tough to come by.
Yep, absolutely.
Agreed. I would also say, Dan, and this is something that I always appreciated as, you got older and more mature as a player, playing first base, was you got really decent at scooping balls in the dirt to potentially save a run if runners are on base. But what I love seeing the awareness of a first baseman having to kind of lay out. I've started seeing Harper doing that when he made the transition over to first base. Teixeira, when he was with the Yankees, was literally a backstop for anything. And that also, kind of gets the team riled up in terms of good feelings. It takes your team off the hook a little bit, and it allows the team not to get lazy, but it says, I've got a nice insurance policy over there.
What about the catcher position? Catcher's involved in every play. Every play.
All right, so I've got two, but they're kind of generational because they've outlawed it since, and that is a catcher that could just take a
And
bludgeoning,
block the plate. This is where I would have
block
gone.
the plate,
Right?
block the
I-
plate.
But you can't do it
Yeah.
anymore.
Can't do
Can't
that
do it anymore. But that used to be it, right? I mean, we all saw League of Their Own. We all saw what happened to Dottie Hinson right there. Did she really drop the ball on purpose? You'll never know. Was it sisterly love? But a guy that gets hit by a freight train, takes their lumps, takes their bruises.
Like Ray
and-
Fosse. Ray Fosse
Yeah.
got absolutely barreled over by Pete
Yeah.
Rose.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like Ray Fosse is the guy you picture getting
Yeah.
just absolutely cremated.
That's a guy who gets to hand to hang that placard on his car to get the better parking spaces because of Pete Rose. But also, I think what's super exciting is a pop fly that's headed for the dugout. If I'm running to the dugout to try to catch a fly ball, a pop fly that could mean us ending an inning and helping my pitcher out. You catch a pop fly and lay out over a railing, going into a dugout, or potentially falling over is, to me, the most exciting defensive gem that a catcher can do.
You know, I never understood about how catchers catch foul pops behind the plate. When they catch the foul ball, they're looking at the stands. Like, I don't understand that because the ball is going the opposite direction from you.
I'll tell you why they do that. It's because the trajectory of the ball, if you're facing towards the pitcher and towards the rest of your field,
It's going
and
forward.
it's going forward. So when the ball comes, it's got a spin and it will bounce away from the catcher and it'll pop out because there's backspin on the ball.
There's
but
a tremendous amount of backspin. So the ball is
tremendous
going,
amount of
yeah.
backspin. So if you're facing the outfield, that's now top spin, and that ball will top right off your glove, and that's big time air. You see it all the time at the younger levels.
Yeah, because the ball is going forward. Even though you feel like it's going backwards, no, it's going straight up and then it goes forward because of the amount of backspin is on the ball. So this is the reason why they turn around.
Well, that's good. I learned something new on
Yeah,
the 3 Tool Players
there you go.
podcast. How about that?
Oh yeah,
No,
there you
no.
go.
Pitcher. What do you say about these guys? We don't even let them field the ball. It's like, get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Unless there's like no choice. So I think of like comebackers. The fact that you have like no time to react. There's a ball that's hit back at you over 100 miles an hour after you've just thrown it, mind you. This ball is gonna either nail you and knock you out of the game, or it's gonna get past you and it's gonna go up the middle for a base hit and runs will score, etc. So I think it's like the ultimate like magician's trick, flashing that leather, as Dan said earlier, just having quick reflexes like a cat to do it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Sometimes the ball gets hit into no man's land, and the only person on the field who's going to get to that ball is going to be the pitcher, and they're going to have to make a play. One of my favorite plays that I've ever seen as a Met fan was Bartolo Colon. 42-year-old Bartolo Colon, who at this point is not in shape. Bartolo is a big man. In a game against the Marlins, Justin Bour hits a dribbler up the first base line, and off the mound comes Bartolo Colon, bounding, barreling down towards that ball. He picks it up, and in one sweet motion, flips it behind his back to the first baseman and gets Bour out. It was magical. It was majestic. It was beautiful. It's the best play I've ever seen by a pitcher was Bartolo Colon flipping this damn thing behind his back. Unbelievable play.
Yeah, he was absolutely a character, and I was so happy the fact that he hit a bomb, hit a nice
Against
home
the
run
Padres. Yeah.
against the Padres
Yeah,
in a
right.
Mets uniform.
In a Mets
that
uniform.
that was classic. You gotta give
Classic.
it up.
Yeah,
I mean-
and the Mets gave him the cold shoulder when he got to the dugout. Big Sexy took his time running around the bases too, by the way. So it gave the Mets a chance to vacate the dugout. The entire dugout got vacated. So when he came back, there was nobody there. It's like 42-year-old Bartolo Colon.
That's such good times. It really is.
Hey, as long as I'm on the best plays I've ever seen as a Met, Keith Hernandez in a 14-inning marathon game against the Cincinnati Reds fields a bunt and turns a 3-5-4 double play. So we said earlier, you don't often see a 3-6-3. How often do you see a 3-5-4? That's first to third to second. How often do you see that?
Never.
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 So this starts, the game's tied 3-3 in the 12th inning against the Reds. The Reds had runners on first and second with no one out. The pitcher comes to bat with the clear intention of bunting the runners over. So Hernandez is on to this. So he plays what you would call a suicide style. So he's crashing the bunt. He comes flying in from first base, picks up the bunt, and throws it to third, picking off the runner coming from second. And then Gary Carter, who's playing third at that point because Ray Knight and Darryl Strawberry got thrown out of the game. This is in 1986 when the Mets were all kinds of hopped up on stuff. Throws the ball to Gary Carter, who then throws it back across to Tim Tuffle, who's now covering first, to complete the 3-5-4 double play. Not something you see every day.
I think you're also missing one of the best performances by Keith Hernandez as well. And that was the fact that he landed one Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld.
That's right. Back and to the left. Back.
One magic loogie.
That is one magic loogie. But probably the best play I've ever seen by a Met. And if you ask most Met fans what the best play they've ever seen as a Met is, that title goes to Endy Chavez. Endy Chavez in Game 7 of the '06 NLCS. Game is tied 1-1. Jim Edmonds is on first base, and Scott Rowland hits a towering fly ball into deep left field. It was clearly heading over the fence. Endy Chavez, not a big dude, runs back there, times his jump, reaching 3 feet above the wall to snatch the ball out of the air. He snow cones this thing and brings it back to the field. Then has the presence of mind to fire the ball back into the infield, where he hits Jose Valentin as the cutoff man and doubles off Edmonds, who thought it was clearly gone, picks him off at first base by throwing to Carlos Delgado. An unbelievable play, and probably one of the best defensive plays in Mets history. The only catch with this is the Cardinals ended up taking a 3-1 lead later. And of course, Carlos Beltran in the bottom of the ninth with the bases loaded stares at an Adam Wainwright curveball, an 0-2. And the Cardinals go on to the World Series and not the Mets. But yet he's going to have his jersey retired, his jersey number
time
retired
to shine.
in September.
Godfather.
And I won't be there because I will never forget that Adam Wainwright curveball. And scene.
Oh, poor Spear.
So I have my top iconic play, and you guys are going to rag on me for this, but of course I'm going to have to go with my boy Chase Utley.
Ah!
You knew I did. You knew I did.
He's so handsome. Keep going,
He
Daniel.
is.
I want to
Silver
listen to this whole
Fox.
thing.
Ooga. So, guys don't remember Game 5 of the 2008 Phillies versus Tampa Bay Devil Rays World Series. 7th inning, the Phillies are tied with the Devil Rays 3-3. So there's a guy on second, there's 2 outs, there's a hit in the hole, and Chase Utley gets to the ball up the middle, gets the ball, dekes his throw to first base, and the guy from second runs through third base, just going home, just trying to score. So instead of throwing to first base to get the third out, he knows he can't get him because he's up the middle. Instead, he throws home and gets the guy out at home. That was probably the most iconic play that I have ever witnessed in Philly history.
Yeah, high baseball IQ for that one.
Huge.
I'll grant that. He's still a terrible person, and I hate him.
But damn, a baseball player right there. One hell of a baseball player. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
He stinks.
Now I do
and
have
don't
some
like
other
him.
one. The other plays that stand out to me is, you guys remember the Aaron Rowland catch out in center
Yeah, I was
field?
hoping you'd bring this one up.
Oh,
Oh my
mhm.
God!
what?
Oh my God!
Oh,
The
I
way
remember it.
that he tracked that ball and caught it over the shoulder and then ran full steam
Headlong into the fence.
right into the fence and the metal piece. And this was right when like Citizens Bank opened a couple years, and they haven't figured out
Padding.
where to put the padding.
Mhm.
It was just metal fence.
It's just a metal bar
He ran his
that
head
was-
into.
Yeah, he just came out like all bloody, but you know what? All he did was he lifted up his glove hand, showing he's like, "Yep, I got the ball, but now I need help."
That was a Philadelphia Rocky moment right there. He's like, "We did it, Adrian!" And he's holding up his glove. We did it. You know,
Yeah.
he saved that. By the way, that catch saved 3 runs.
Hmm.
And I think they ended up winning the game. Rowan, by the way, suffered a broken nose, a broken cheekbone, and several fractures to his orbital bone around his eye. He needed 15 stitches and surgery.
Yes.
That guy will never have to buy a beer in the city of Philadelphia ever again, ever.
That catch and the Chase Utley deke, those are the 2 iconic plays that I can think of. Like the third and fourth, I mean, like you can talk about the play in the 1980 World Series? It was with Bob Boone and Pete Rose, where Bob Boone was going for a ball in foul territory next to the dugout, and it pops out of his glove, and then Pete Rose catches it. That also was one of the iconic plays that I can think of. And then there's like some other ones. There's one that with Odubel Herrera catching a ball out of the shrubbery from Freddie Freeman's home run. He robbed a home run. He reached into the shrubbery and caught the ball. That too was an iconic play. But the 3 that I would have to pick: Chase Utley, Aaron Rowland, and then the Bob Boone and Pete Rose. Brian, how about you?
How about you over there in Yankee land?
So Yankee Land, I mean, we have a storied history, as you all know. and we're pretty much
As
known
we
for
all know, and we are
As
always
you all
reminded
know,
of.
with
Yeah, there
our
you go.
27 world championship rings, and
Okay, Janos.
a lot
you
of people.
you haven't won one in like the last 15, 20 years, but go on.
It's been 15, 16, 17. Who's counting? But
Carry
I'll
on.
simply say this, that a lot of people get so riled up into the bats and, some of the pitching, but a lot of folks don't really think about our defensive prowess, right? We're the Bronx Bombers after all. But as we start talking about this, there's going to be no surprise to what we know is coming next in terms of probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, defensive play in Yankees history. And I'm going to take you all back into the way back machine into the year 2001. And I'm talking about, of course, the famous Jeter flip play. So for those of you that don't know, or you're too young, or you're too beautiful to understand,
Good Lord, should have packed a lunch for this trip into the
you
past.
should understand this. Pack a lunch, sit down, enjoy yourself, because I'm going to walk you through the magistry that is one Derek Jeter.
Good God.
So here's the situation. It's 2001. We're talking about the division series. It's the Yankees against Oakland, and the Yankees are on the road. There is a ball hit to the right field corner. Jeremy Giambi is rounding the bases, and he gets the green light to go home. Now, Shane Spencer in right field fields the ball. He comes up throwing, but man, does he miss the cutoff, man. He misses Tino by like 20 counties. And Jeter
if you were
is watching.
Jimmy Dugan, then like that would be bad for him going into the dugout. Jimmy Dugan would have like totally ripped him a new a-hole.
Jimmy Dugan would have made this
the cutoff man again.
Jimmy Dugan would have made Shane Spencer cry like a little boy, and he probably would have gone straight to the showers. So
If it wasn't for Derek Jeter, though.
Derek Jeter sees that this ball is being way overthrown. He sees that there's no way with the trajectory that this ball is going to reach Posada at the plate in time. So he makes a cut across the diamond. He gets this ball and he backflips it over to Posada, who at the very split second, last moment, turns and tags Jeremy Giambi, who's not sliding, by the way, which is baffling to all of us. He catches him on the leg to keep the shutout intact. And the reason this is so large is because the fact the Yankees were going into this series, to a short series that was best of 5, and they were already down 2-0. This absolutely ignited the team. They went on to win the game 1-0, and they went on to win the series and go on to the World Series that year. If you ask anybody in Yankee land about what is the greatest defensive achievement that they've seen from their Bombers, very few people are going to disagree that the captain came up clutch with the flip.
You got to have a play that has its own nickname, right? Where you recognize it by its nickname and no other context is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I mean, that's the one that lives in Yankees lore. There's no doubt about it. It's nice that he has those things to hang his hat on because he was pretty much an average shortstop for the rest of the time.
Oh my God, I knew that was coming next. Just get off it. All but one person voted for him to get into the Hall of Fame. All right, just give the man his props. Know that he's got a beautiful wife and a beautiful family. He's just a great commentator. I think Derek Jeter is a national treasure.
He wasn't even the best shortstop on his own team. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God, get off it. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
I know exactly what I'm doing.
And Juan Soto's got a gimpy calf. All right, do you want to play this game? Let's go. All right.
I don't have to. What? Dude, the man got an injury. I mean, what are you going to do? When he comes back, he's still going to be Juan Soto. What are you going to do?
God almighty. How dare you? How dare you?
Hey, those were some great plays. You know where you can find some great plays? Wherever you find your podcast, and you can find every episode of 3 Tool Players on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, on Spotify. And if you're on any of these places, please take the time. If you liked what you heard, write us a review. Give us some stars. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like. We're going to love you anyway. It doesn't matter. And you can follow us on the TikToks and on Instagram at 3 Tool Players. And for Brian and Dan Hammer, I'm Chris Spear, and we thank you for listening to this episode of 3 Tool Players.